My name is Hannah, and this is my no-buy year. Okay, my empties are somewhat reasonable again this month. They're back to being somewhat reasonable. I think this will still be a bit of a beefy video, but I really don't want it to take forever to film. I don't want it to take forever to edit, and I don't want it to be too long. So let's go ahead and get straight into the meat of the video. I have not talked about candles thus far on my channel. I don't burn through too many candles. I had 3 or 4 at the beginning of the year, and I just finished the last one of the ones with which I started the year. So I decided to put it in my empties video because I actually did repurchase a candle to replace it since I used up my last candle. So this was it. This was the last one. It's the pomegranate currant from Patty Wax, and I actually bought it at Whole Foods. I think a lot of Whole Foods carry this exact candle. They put the candles into old wine bottles that have been shorn off, which is really cool. I just put it in my mouth. The reason I bought this is that scent-wise, it is an absolute dupe for the Capri Blue Volcano candle that I used to buy all the time at Anthropologie. That's a very expensive candle, and I think that this is a similar size to the size that I used to buy at Anth, but it's much less expensive. It's something like $10, maybe $12. The smell is amazing. It is an absolute scent dupe for Capri Blue Volcano. I don't think I could tell the difference between the two if you had them before me. So I really like this, but this isn't what I purchased to replace. I don't have it right here in front of me, but I went to Bath & Body Works and I picked out a candle. I picked the one called Fireside. Not Marshmallow Fireside, just Fireside, and I really love the smell. I actually included that candle in my favorites this month, so that will either have already gone up or it will be going up shortly, and you can hear me talking more about that candle in that video. So that was my only homewares type item. Let's move on. We're gonna go through hair care, body care, skin care, and finish with makeup as always. Hair care. I used up the last of my bottle of dirty spray that my friend Julia gave to me as a gift very kindly after having seen me talk about how much I love this product and having seen me put my empty bottle of this in my empties video much earlier in the year. I actually don't have any more texturizing spray, but it's almost the end of the year and I don't think that I could justify buying a texturizing spray. My holy grails are this one and the Moroccan Oil Dry Texture Spray. I don't have anything that serves the same exact purpose as this product or that Moroccan Oil product, but I have some sea salt spray bottles and I have some creams that are like texturizing creams. I'm not out of texturizing products. I'm just out of the ones that I really like and the style that I really like. So I can't replace this right now. I won't be replacing it during this year, but this is one of my all-time favorite products. I use it to keep my hair from having that limp, silky baby hair texture that it has the day after I wash it, because I like it to have grit, and this is basically grit in a bottle. I also used up this Way Hair Care Soft Mousse. Mousse isn't something that I traditionally have purchased. This came in like a sample size set, one of those Sephora sets last year. I really liked using this. I liked using mousse in my wet hair to get volume at the roots, and I probably won't buy the Way one again. I don't think that this specific mousse is the one that I liked. I think I just liked having a mousse at my disposal. And because I'm not too familiar with mousse, I can't really speak to the difference in quality between this mousse and other mousses. Maybe I'll try some drugstore mousses. Do you guys have any drugstore mousses that you recommend? Let me know. I mean, I'm not gonna be trying them this year, but I'm already starting to think about next year. I'm not gonna go ham at the beginning of the year, don't worry. I know a lot of you guys are kind of stressed out for me. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. I have a new project that will come into effect as soon as the new year starts. It's gonna be okay. But I think that I could see myself investing in a mousse. Here, this is actually one of Joe's empties. Joe has given me a couple of empties this month to put into my empties, which is really cute. He isn't a very product-oriented person. He has a face wash that he uses, a body soap, a sunscreen that he wears because I made him find one that he can stand to wear every day. And then he likes to put something in his hair because he has very beautiful, thick, juicy locks, and it's good to have something that gives them a little bit of grit and that gives him a little bit of control over where they lie. So, and that's pretty much it. That's all he uses. Although he did start getting dry skin this month, and he did ask me to recommend an inexpensive but effective body lotion for him, and I actually ended up buying him the CeraVe one, the big tub of CeraVe moisturizer that has a pump. It's his completely. It has nothing to do with my stuff, and I never use it because I don't like lotion, but he has really been liking that. And I think that that was actually a recommendation from some of y'all, so thank you for letting me know about that. Joe used up this Bumble and Bumble thickening cream contour paste. This is something I bought for myself in a misguided moment a couple of years ago and never really used, because this kind of packaging of product, this kind of style of product is not really ideal for my hair. It's ideal for Joe's hair, his kind of like floppy, slightly silky, thick, shorter hair. And so it was perfect for him. And when he ran out of whatever horrible product he was using for his hair, I was like, maybe you should try this. So he used this up and he did like it. But when he ran out of it, I gave him a little deluxe sample size of the Bumble and Bumble Sumo Clay, which is a similar product to this. It's like in the same line, but it's more intense. It's like denser, more gluey, more like a really grippy clay product, more texturizing, and less like a cream, I guess, and more like a paste, even more like a paste. And he liked that even better than this. So I'm actually gonna help him replace that when he's done with that. And I must say, his hair has been looking really, really good since he started using the Sumo Clay. So he appreciated this product from Bumble and Bumble, but it didn't end up being the exact right thing for him. That's it for hair care. Let's move on to body care. Look at this hulking thing that I finished. This was the Dr. Jart Ceramide Body Oil. I got this because I don't like putting lotion on my body when I get out of the shower. I just don't like that sticky wetness and coldness. And I thought a body oil would be easier to use. And it was. I actually really, really enjoyed using this. I really liked this product when I had super dry skin. And I still like using blocks of cocoa butter in the shower better. I'm actually out. Those blocks of cocoa butter came in like a package. I never showed it in my empties. I've used up all of the solid cocoa butter that I had, but it never showed up in my empties. I don't even remember why. I think maybe I took the last of it with me when I traveled somewhere and then I threw it away. I don't remember why, but I'm here to tell you that that category is empty for me too, or rather that type of product. The category I consider to be body moisturizer is not empty. So I can't buy myself another block of solid cocoa butter until next year. But in the meantime, I've been using my other body lotions and trying to use them up, and I used up this. I don't think I would buy it again just because the solid cocoa butter is so much more pleasant for me to use, more effective, and much, much less expensive. But if you're looking for a body oil, if that's what you want, I do like this one. I did enjoy using this one as someone who doesn't like oil. It feels very clinical. It doesn't have a floral smell or anything. It has a very clean, comforting smell, and it worked. It definitely worked. And I liked the sort of slippery feeling on my legs and my body. So this felt like by the end of the year, by the end of me using it, it felt like a very luxurious product for me to have. And I actually really enjoyed using it up this month. I had two other little hotel lotions from Le Labo, Rose 31 and Bergamot 22, and I just went ahead and used them up. They're fine. The smells are what are exquisite about these products. The lotions themselves are just fine. This was a Molten Brown body wash that was sent to me by Jennifer, or given to me, I guess, in the boxes that she gave me. This was in there. It's in Rose Absolute or Rosa Absolute. I've never really understood the appeal of Molten Brown. Whenever I see them in little boutique shops, it's like they look kind of ordinary. The gels are very translucent and the colors are very artificial looking in a weird way. Like they don't look as expensive as they are to me, and they don't have any advertising or any information that indicates that they should cost what they cost. Like I don't think there's anything about them being good for you. Yeah, like sodium lauryl sulfate is the second ingredient. Like they're not green, they're not nourishing, they're just body washes that are really expensive. And I've always thought of them as that. I've never really been compelled to get a body wash from Molten Brown, and I definitely wouldn't. But having used this, I understand the appeal when it comes to scent. I think probably the scents are really what their selling point is. I think people probably get really into certain scents. They're well developed. As a perfumery, they are elevated, and I did really like this scent. I don't particularly love rose scents, but I loved this Rose Absolute smell of this little sample, and I quite enjoyed using it, even though I didn't feel like it did anything particularly special in terms of moisturizing my body or making my body feel like it had had a luxurious treatment. All right, I have 3 little perfume sample sizes, all 3 of which I absolutely adore. One was Commodity Velvet. I think Sephora was distributing this a couple months ago or last month as a 100-point perk. And it's like a sweet, almost marshmallowy, but burnt wood, cedar, outdoorsy fireplace smell. It's very much like it smells like you were by a campfire, but really, really, really sweet. And then it has another note that I think might be fruit that I don't like as much. And I also coincidentally had this deluxe sample size of replicas By the Fireplace, and these smell very similar to each other. I like By the Fireplace better because it's everything that I just said about Commodity Velvet, but without the fruit note. So I tried this and I fell in love with it, and then I tried this and I was even more in love with it. So in love with it that this is something that I would actually consider asking for, or I probably wouldn't buy the full size because they're quite expensive, these bottles. I think they're like well over $100, if not close to $200. But I could see myself buying these travel spray of By the Fireplace. I liked it that much. Commodity Velvet, if this had never come into my life, I would have considered buying this, but that little last note of fruit, it goes a little rotten on me. It does make it more dimensional and less like a pure sweetness like By the Fireplace. So if you know that fruit smells wear well on you, I think it's like a blackberry or black currant or something, then you might prefer Velvet. But I actually preferred By the Fireplace as like a really sweet, cozy, roasted marshmallow, fireplace, wintry, woodsy smell. I fell in love with it. Then the other one I had was Diptyque Hommage. So it's spelled E-A-U as in eau de parfum, and mage, M-A-G-E, as in mage, like another word for magician. Homage. So it's like the smell of a mage, the smell of a magician, but when you say it, it sounds like homage, like an homage to cats or an homage to oranges or whatever. You know what I'm, it's lovely. It's like a little word play, a little trick of language that I quite like. And this, I'm gonna have to try to get the last bit out to remember what it smelled like. All I remember is that I love it so much. Oh yeah. So it's like a thing I'm such a bad YouTuber. I should be like looking up the notes and telling you what the companies say about them instead. I'm just telling you how I feel about them. This is the thing I'm always looking for. It's a really spicy, musky, also woodsy, cedary, also almost cathedral, almost incensey smell that is masculine, but without having any of those like sour man cologne notes. I find that so many unisex scents that are intended to be on the masculine side, they have these undertones that go kind of like musky sour on me, or that make me really smell like I'm wearing a man's cologne. This is very strong and very, very masculine, but it smells truly addictive and delightful to me and doesn't have any of that ickiness underneath. It's like it floats above that ickiness, even though it has that same feeling, that same kind of masculine, incensey feeling. I love this so much that I really, really meted this out. Like I would just wear a little at a time, and I saved it for moments when I really wanted to wear it. I would wear it out dancing. I wore it at some tango festivals. I wore it once or twice on work days when I felt like I really, really needed something comforting, I needed something to make the day feel special. This little deluxe sample size, I was so sparing with it, and this will forever be on my dream loves list for perfumes. I think it might have been limited edition, and I'm not even sure you can get it anymore. That's another reason why I was really sparing with this little sample. Either that, or like it comes back once in a while. It's not part of Diptyque's consistent house line, but it smells like the entryway of a bathhouse in Morocco, where there's like a big fireplace and they're burning logs in the fireplace, and they also have incense burning, but there's like a smell, almost like a soapy bathhouse masculine smell of cedar and soap floating out on the steam from the bathhouse. I live. I hope it's not truly limited edition, although I don't know if I would ever be able to actually spend the money on this. I don't know. Okay, moving on to skincare. Let's start with the other one that was Joe's other empty. So on some of your recommendations, we ended up with this for Joe. It's the Australian Gold Mineral Lotion Non-Greasy. In my sunscreen search video, a lot of you recommended this, and I think it's inexpensive. It's a drugstore product, $12, something like that. It has a tint, and everyone who recommended it to me, you can see how there's product smeared around it. That's the color of the tint. It's like a peachy color. Many of you who recommended it to me, you were like, it has a tint, but the tint goes away when you buff it out. The tint isn't actually discernible on the skin. You guys don't understand how pale I am. You can't really see on the video. You can't really see. I'm one of those people, I'm like white as a sheet of paper. Like you see me in real life and you're like, oh girl, are you okay? I'm really, really pale. Any product that's intended to be sheer or universal that has this kind of color darkens my skin. It truly, truly does. There are almost, I don't talk about this very often on my channel, but there are almost no base products that are light enough for me. There are almost no brands that make a concealer or a foundation that is light as me. Almost every brand's lightest color is darker than me. That's how dire it is. I am a very, very extreme color. So I can't use this as my daily sunscreen because it makes my face orange, much more orange than my neck. And you can like see a line from where I put it. I mean, ideally I would be bringing it down onto my neck, but you know what I'm saying. But it's perfect for Joe. He's darker than me. He loves the quality of it, how it wears. It's inexpensive, it's elegant, it's cosmetically elegant. He used all of this up and then he bought it again. So if it didn't have this tint, I would be more than willing to use this product. I think it's actually a really, really wonderful mineral sunscreen. The other thing is that Joe, I was starting to see from his previous sunscreen white in his beard. Like you could see the sunscreen in his beard all day long. And this, because of the tint, doesn't have that problem. So for him, the tint is actually ideal. I used up this bottle of The Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors plus Hyaluronic Acid. This is something that Tara sent me. It was great, but I busted through it. I used it really, really fast. I know it's pretty inexpensive, but it's also a small bottle. So I wasn't really interested in purchasing this again, though I did like it. It was time for me to purchase a night cream. When I used this up, this was my last one. And I did have a couple of little sample sizes kicking around that I had acquired for various other reasons in various other ways. Two of them are here in front of me and I'll talk about them in a second, but when I used this up, I had used them all up and it was time. And I purchased the CeraVe Skin Renewing Night Cream. Everybody was so worried that I was gonna buy CeraVe PM. That's not what I've ever been talking about. I've only ever had my eye on this product, the CeraVe Skin Renewing Night Cream. So when I said CeraVe Night Cream, I wasn't talking about CeraVe PM. That's more of like a gel product that is too light for me. That's not what I was looking for in a night cream. This, however, it is so perfect. The bottle is a little bit small. It's 1.7 ounces. I believe it was around $10, which is great. The texture is perfect for me. It's kind of waxy. I don't know why I'm showing you the inside of the jar. You can't see. Okay, but there you can kind of see. I took some out on my finger, and do you see how it's kind of like, you can't. I'll just describe it to you. It's kind of waxy. It's like really, really, really thick. Like it feels, I think there is shea butter in this. Ingredients aren't on there, but they're on the box. But I think there is shea butter in this, and it feels like there's quite a lot of shea butter. Like it really, really feels incredibly viscous and just thick as all get out. And for that reason, I only need a little bit. to get the super thick and tenacious layer of night cream on my face that I like to have as a sleeping pack on top of my oils and all of my other nighttime skincare. So for that reason, the size doesn't bother me very much. I've had this for almost a full month at this point, and I'm definitely not halfway through it yet, which means that this will probably last me about 3 months. So that's $40 a year. That's the cost, that's less than the cost of 1 jar of the night cream that I was using when I started the year, and that night cream was only lasting me about 1 or 1.5 months. So this is a wild improvement over what I started the year using, and at this point I imagine that I will immediately buy it again after I use it up. It's so long lasting on the skin. It does soak in and you can rub it in, but when I wake up in the morning, I still feel that my skin has some coverage on it. My skin is protected, sealed in with that product. And in fact, I usually wash my face only with water at the beginning of the day, and the shea butter is so intense that it kind of repels the water a little bit, and I really have to get in there with a washcloth and make sure that the residue of what I slept in is off of my skin. That's how much of a layer it puts on top of my skin. That's how well it seals everything in. I am totally here for it. I'm over the moon. I love this product, and I'm really glad that I decided to give it a try. Okay, I had another little sample size of the Kale Spinach Green Tea Hyaluronic Acid Night Cream, Moisturizing Cream, Age Prevention Moisture Cream from Youth to the People. It's the Youth to the People cream. This was given to me by a sweet subscriber who's also a tango dancer, which is unusual. There's not a lot of overlap between my tango community and my viewership. A lot of tango dancers don't know about my channel, but this wonderful lady does, and she came up to me at the Tango Festival in San Francisco, and she said that she had been watching my empties last month, and there were a couple products I had mentioned having sample sizes of or having around that she had unopened samples of, and she just thought that she would bring them to me so that I could use them. It was so cute, and I was so excited. I knew her, like I know her from before, and I follow her on Instagram, and we're in each other's circles, but it was such a strange and thrilling surprise to have someone from Tango connect to me in that setting about my channel, and I was sick and I was not very equipped to handle the emotions at the time. I was pretty overwhelmed. It was just incredibly sweet. And also, my skin was so dry there. The fires were happening. The city was full of smoke. The heater in the apartment we were staying in was really intense, and I was sick. So my skin was really in a bad way, and this definitely rescued me at the time. I think that was before, it was before I had purchased this. So I was using the one from The Ordinary. That was what I had with me, and it's good, but it wasn't good enough to combat those environmental factors. So I was very excited to say hi to Elizabeth and receive these gifts from her, and I was also very, very grateful that this was one of them. I said this in my last empties video, but this is a fantastic product. It's just that the price point is way, way too high for me for a night cream, because I use night creams so voraciously. I had also another bottle of the Sulwhasoo Essence, the First Treatment Essence Serum First Care Essence. And same thing, it's a great product. It works as a first treatment essence. It's really lovely, but it is an Amore Pacific product, and I'm just not going to be buying my first treatment essence from Amore Pacific. I have one from CosRx that I really like. It's only $10 a bottle, lasts forever. So it was nice to be able to travel with this little sample size of an essence, but I wouldn't purchase this product simply due to the price point. Little sample size of the Lancer Omega Hydrating Oil with Ferment Complex. This to me falls into the category of all-purpose oil, and all-purpose oil is also a category on which I am not willing to spend a lot of money. I have some treatment oils, my Luna oil and my salicylic acid oil, the UFO oil from Sunday Riley. For a treatment oil, I'm willing to spend a little bit more because I only use a tiny bit of those at a time. They last forever, and those are potent ingredients that I really care about having high quality versions of in my skincare routine. So for treatment oils, for those two treatment oils, I'll spend a little more and I'll buy from a high-end brand. But for an all-purpose oil, I'm not going to be buying from Lancer. I'm going to be buying from The Ordinary or something else, drugstore, Whole Foods, you know, Mad Hippie, something like that. So for all-purpose oil, which is what I used this as, this is too expensive, but this is a very, very nice oil. I had no complaints about using it. It was lovely. Very mild, didn't really have a scent, didn't really feel like anything except for a nourishing oil. This is the Tata Harper Reparative Moisturizer, little sample size. These were both in the boxes that Jennifer gave me. This is a beautiful product and it's very liquidy. So it says reparative moisturizer, but I used it as a serum. I used it as a moisturizing serum. No complaints. It was wonderful to have this. I especially enjoyed it when I was traveling and my skin was really dry. I like Tata Harper, but same story, too expensive. For a hydrating serum in my routine, too expensive. My money goes into active ingredients at the very middle of my routine, but hydrating serums and oils that I pack into my skin on either side of those center products in my routine, those are things that I'm going to find budget options for. And that's what this is. It's a moisturizer. It's a reparative moisturizer. So I feel like I can moisturize without spending Tata Harper prices. So I'm not tempted to buy this product, but it was lovely and it did work. These two sheet masks were both included in gifts from subscribers, the Shining Natural Purity Bird's Nest Aqua Ampule Mask and the Hada Labo Tokyo Ultimate Anti-Aging Face Mask. These were both great. I think I will probably stick with my masks that I buy from Amazon. I like the My Real Skin masks. Is that what they're called? I can't remember what they're called. I have this pack of masks that I buy from Amazon. It's like 20 masks for $10 or something, and they work really well. They're perfect for me. If I have to buy sheet masks again, or when I buy sheet masks again, I think I'll probably stick with them. None of the ones that I've tried that people have sent me have totally usurped those ones in my heart, and I know where to get them. They're easy for me to replace, and it's such a big pack for the amount of money you're spending. So those are the ones that I'm sticking with, but I do like both of these. They were both fantastic. There wasn't anything wrong with either of them, and they did what a good sheet mask does, which to me is seal in all of the products that you put underneath it without any muss or fuss. This was a really interesting oil to use. It's the Savor Beauty Pumpkin Serum Brightening Beauty Oil. Now, this is a treatment oil. I'm not sure how much it costs. I didn't look it up. If I look it up and it ends up being really inexpensive, I might be interested in using this and taking this on as a brightening treatment oil. I ended up kind of using it as an all-purpose oil because I kind of feel like I have the treatment oils that I need. I don't really feel the need for a product like this. I believe this probably has vitamin C in it. It's a pumpkin serum, and so that's probably why it says it's a brightening oil. This isn't the vehicle I want for my vitamin C, so it doesn't really have a place in my skincare routine. It's very nice. It was a really nice all-purpose oil. My guess, however, based on the quality of this little package and just how nice and haute it feels and how lovely it was to use, my guess is that it's probably not a budget product. It's probably a really nice and high-priced indie product. Again, I'm like so unprepared. I'm just like, here's how I feel about this sample that I know nothing about. But I think it's valuable for me to say, like, I used this product, I really liked using it, I really liked having this sample, I do feel like it did what it said that it was going to do, it's a really nice oil, and I just have no interest even in finding out how much it costs, because I have what I need when it comes to skincare, I have what I need when it comes to treatment oils, and I think that no buy year Hannah is able to say that. Old Hannah wouldn't have. Old Hannah would maybe already have bought this because it was nice. And that's just not where I'm at anymore. I'm happy with what I have, and I consider these really beautiful deluxe size samples just to be treats, perks, and that's what this was to me. I had this little sample size of the Lancome Gentrifique Youth Activating Concentrate. So this is a serum that has probiotics in it. And I've heard Samantha March talking about how much she loves this and how much of a difference this made in her skin. And I do believe that it does. And it is also very expensive. I'm definitely not going to be buying this. I think that probiotic ingredients in skincare are really great. And I have some yeast products in my routine. I have my COSRX First Treatment Essence, which is the galactomyces that has active yeasty things in it. I consider that to be like my probiotic skincare because it helps to balance the surface of the skin. I feel like it probably does for me what this is doing for other people who use it and who really like it. Just because Lancome has like a proprietary probiotic doesn't mean that theirs is particularly better. I think the thing that's probably really effective about this is the fact that it is probiotic at all. I do think I saw benefits from this, nothing super dramatic, but when I used it, I felt like it was nice. However, this is a serum with silicones in it, and I've talked about this before. For me, a serum is something that you then layer a bunch of stuff over. So I'll wash my face, I'll go in with the essence, and then I'll go in with my serums, then I'll go in with oils on top of that, and then I will go in with moisturizers on top of that. And I want those oils and moisturizers to be able to access the deeper layers of my skin. But when you put a silicone on your skin, you block things from going into your skin on top of it. Silicones really like seal over your skin. That's why I like using them in my primers, because I like sealing my skincare in and sealing my makeup out. However, I do not want to put silicones on my skin first thing. Like I don't want to go in with one of my first steps and have it contain silicones, because then I feel like everything else that I put on top of it, my expensive active oils, would be a waste. So that's the main turnoff for me of this product, that and the price. I do think that it's good that Lancome is releasing some nice skincare that has probiotics in it, because I do believe in using probiotics on your skin. This to me is just not the ideal vehicle for them. Okay, and I'm down to 2 makeup type products, 2 products left. One is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Radiance Drops, and I loved this product and used it for a while. I was afraid it was breaking me out. I took a long break and then I started using it again and used the rest of it up, and I don't think it was breaking me out. So I think that it's fine. I don't think that it breaks me out. It's basically a treatment oil, priming oil, like an all-purpose oil that has some shimmer in it, and so it looks really lovely on the skin. I love priming with oil. I love using oil as a primer, and I always do it if I'm not going to be leaving the house. I did it today. I used my all-purpose oil to prime my skin, and then I just tapped a little bit of pore-filling primer right here, but I didn't use like a thick silicone-y primer all over my face today because I knew that I was just going to be filming and then taking my makeup off and cooking and resting. I don't prime with oil over my sunscreen. My water-based moisturizing sunscreen goes over oils and then kind of like sits on top of those oils and sits on my skin and does its job. Then I feel comfortable layering a silicone-y primer on top of that sunscreen because the layers don't disturb each other. But there's no place for an oil primer or an oil base in my routine. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't layer with my daytime skincare. So as much as I've enjoyed using this product and all of the other oil primers that I've ever had, I'll never buy one because it doesn't make sense for me. And also, if I'm gonna prime with oil, I can just use an oil, like a regular oil. That's kind of all this is. There's nothing about it that makes it primery. Same with the Smashbox primer oil. It's just an oil. It's just like it's an all-purpose oil. You can prime with any all-purpose oil. It was a nice thing to have, but that's how I feel about it. Don't need it, not gonna buy it. And lastly, I totally panned this little deluxe sample size of the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine Ultra Cushion Lip Gloss in the color SPL. It's a cool toned pink with iridescent shimmers, which is a color of lip gloss I would never buy. Like, I don't even know why I loved it so much, but I absolutely loved it. And I used it all up and I popped out the stopper, and then I used a Q-tip to get the last little bit down at the bottom. Once it got to the point where the wand would no longer reach, I used every last drop. I really, really, really went for it. I just liked having like an iridescent, glittery, goopy, glossy, plumping lip gloss. It was nice, and I was surprised by how much I loved the formula. I talked about it in my lip declutter, actually, my lip gloss declutter. I raved about this product and I said I was going to keep it and try to pan it, and that is exactly what I did. I am not planning to buy any lip products for a long time. I'm not planning to buy any lip products next year, except for maybe a very, very pale, twiggy nude. That's something that I don't have in my collection, and I'm in the market for something like that. That fills a hole in my collection, but I don't need a lip gloss. I have lip glosses and I'm just not interested in buying more lip glosses than I can possibly use. I almost already have more than I can possibly use. I've become highly aware lately of how long it takes me to go through lip products, and I just feel like I have a pretty complete collection of lip products right here, and I just don't think that I need to add to it at all. I'm gonna miss this, and I could see myself at some point in the far future when I'm ready to buy a lip gloss going to this formula and picking out maybe like more of a neutral or slightly more of a warm toned sheer for myself in this formula, because I was very impressed by it. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy the fact that I got the chance to use this little sample. And that, my friends, is it. Those were my empties for the month of November. Not unsubstantial, but not totally out of control either. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will remember to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.